Hey guys, this is Rudy for Best Your Investor coming at you live from West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm sure by now you've been watching the two old guys duking it out on the U.S. election, and you might be keeping up to date with what's going on. I thought in order to commemorate the big fight we're seeing here between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I would use as a backdrop my wife's futuristic modern art design of the American flag commemorating the Constitution of the United States, dated 17 September 1787. 17 September happens to be my son's birthday. He wasn't there when they signed it, but I figured I'll use it as a backdrop since we can watch this interesting election fight sort of playing out in the background. So let's get ready to rumble. I thought we'd look at a couple of different sectors. Last time I talked a little bit about the election. I predicted that Trump might win. That prediction seems to be somewhat in jeopardy. That's why you should never listen to me for election advice, and probably also not for stock advice. And then the other three things I talked about was three of my sort of let's call them favorite sectors. I have said before you shouldn't have favorites when you are dealing in the stock market. But anyway, the three sort of sectors that I'm heavily invested right now include energy, financials, and healthcare. So I thought let's revisit them again. This time we can sort of see a little bit of the impact of the election on them, but more importantly, let's see what some of these stocks are doing and how they're performing. Right, guys, let's first talk about the sort of proverbial elephant in the room. The US election is playing out in the background. Joe Biden currently, according to Associated Press, has 264 electoral college votes, and Donald Trump has 214. I'm not here to judge whether the media is giving you correct or factual news or not. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, and this is available to anyone. If you Google the election, US election updates, this is what you're going to see as of around about now, which I snapped at November the 4th at 7:30 p.m. So Joe Biden basically needs 6 electoral college votes to win the election. And it just so happens that Nevada, which is kind of light blue, so it's trending in favor of Joe Biden, offers him 6 electoral college votes, and if he wins that, he pretty much wins the election, because then there would not be enough left for Donald Trump to get to 270. Now, of course, counting is still actually happening, and I just saw a guy just a few minutes ago on YouTube on a video say that you guys, the media, were premature to call Arizona because they had only reported 84% of their votes, and most of the votes that are coming in are for Trump. And if Trump gets Arizona and also picks up these three pinkish colored ones, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, then Trump wins the election. So who knows? But at the end of the day, this is a macro event which has some significance and impact to the three sectors that I mentioned, which are three sectors that I'm heavily invested in. So let's see how that plays out. Firstly, let's quickly look at a snapshot of the global market. So again, I took this little snapshot just a few minutes ago at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November the 4th, 2020. The Americas had a great day today in the stock market. We can see that the Eurozone, or the Middle East and Europe, had a good performance as well, and we can currently see that the Asian markets are looking quite strong as well, with the exception of Singapore, which is the odd one out. Pretty much everybody had a good day, so or it will be having a good day. So the markets definitely tend to be more green than red, which means there's some positive sentiment in the market. I'm not confident or sure that Joe Biden is driving all that positive sentiment in the market, but we'll see what happens. It's interesting nonetheless. All right, let's look at my number one sector, which is energy. So by now, some of you are calling me Mr. Oxy, so you already know that I'm invested in energy. But of course, I have quite a few different energy stocks, and I have quite large positions in all four of these ones that are listed right over here. Today, the energy sector as a whole was down 0.38%, so almost a 0.5% for the day today. But my equities didn't do too badly. OXY was up almost 1%, Enbridge was up 1%, Total was flat, And Pembina Pipelines, it has two ticker symbols because it's PPL in Toronto in Canada and it's PBA on the New York Stock Exchange, was up almost 1% as well. So energy companies are trading higher amid strength in oil prices after the EIA reported bigger than expected draws in US crude oil inventories. Now, of course, tomorrow you might read that there's a surplus and there's too much inventory and then the energy prices drop again, but who knows, because this thing is like a yo-yo. Investors also await the 2020 US presidential election results. Well, we know this is going to impact the oil prices somewhat in some way or another because Joe Biden looks like he's going to be the winner. Joe Biden has previously said he'll ban fracking and he won't ban fracking, and he'll ban fossil fuels and he will not ban fossil fuels, and approximately just over 2 million people are employed in the United States in the energy sector. So I think he's probably he was probably making some of those statements to make sure that he attracted some of the voters who are anti-fossil fuels, but we'll have to unfortunately wait and see. The fact of the matter is the energy sector as a whole is one of the most downbeaten sectors in the entire index. So that is a sector, as a contrarian, that where I would like to play in, and most of the four positions above that I mentioned briefly are large positions that I hold long. This is energy so far year to date. So if we look at the last 12 months, this dark blue line over here is kind of showing you where energy went. And as of the end of October, it was down year to date about 52%. So as a contrarian, I'm going to say if it looks like that for the past year, then over the next year, it probably will have a bit of an uptick because very few sectors stay down forever. And we also know that some of these are flavor of the month. So we'll see what happens. Number two, the financial sector. So this is one of my favorite sectors too, because just quickly looking at this little table down here, you can see that banks are one of the most beaten down sectors in the financial sector. So today, the financial sector as a whole was down 1.24%. Only one of the underlying industries was higher and six were lower. My stocks, though, did okay. So AllianceBernstein, which is a financial services company and an investment house, was up 1.3%. TD is a commercial bank that was down a little. Bank of Nova Scotia was up a little. And Sun Life is a life insurance company and was up about a third. So even though the sector was down and doing badly, my stocks or equities that I hold long did okay. This is another sector where I am heavily invested because it has been beaten down. If we look at the sector as a whole over the last year, so one year from back from October 30th, you can see that even though the S&P is up about 12, the financials are down about 12. Financials have the ability to stage quite a quick recovery, especially if you pick the right ones. And the ones I just shared with you on the previous slide are some of the ones that I believe are going to be performing well. Number three, healthcare, or in my case, it's specifically more pharma. So if you look at the table first over here, you'll see that the only one that's actually negative is pharmaceuticals. Now, once again, as a contrarian, the only equity that I actually hold long in the pharmaceuticals industry right now is Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. Pfizer has been beaten down quite a lot. I do believe that Pfizer is in the forefront of creating a vaccine for the coronavirus, so it could be enjoying a bounce really soon. Anyway, the fact of the matter is today the entire health sector was up more than 2%, and that is a good thing. And you say, like, why on earth would the health sector be up? So we see they're waiting for clear signs for the winner of the US presidential election, and they're weighing the decreased expectations for a blue wave. Remember how the media was telling us that Joe Biden was leading in many states right across the country by 8 points, 9 points, 12 points, even 17 points or something in Wisconsin. I think that's what they said. So that hasn't really materialized. In fact, what we have is a very, very close race. It's very important to know what's going to happen with this sector because President Trump was attacking the healthcare sector because he wanted lower drug prices. Um, and Joe Biden was less confrontational towards the healthcare sector, but he has some interesting policies, including Medicare for all and strengthening the Affordable Care Act, or what is known as Obamacare. So, yeah, this one is a tough one to call because the macro here has a few things that are completely unknown or unpredictable in terms of the politics of the day. So I'm not too sure what we can do with that one. If we look at the sector just quickly on a graph before I wrap it up, it's kind of level pegging with the S&P 500, which is also one of the reasons why I only have one equity position long in the pharma sector, and that is Pfizer Pharmaceuticals. So I don't want to be heavy in an industry that's actually performing sort of in line with the S&P 500 because I look for undervalued stocks as a general rule. All right, let's just wrap it up here with a quick look at what's coming up. For those of you who have been following my Occidental Petroleum videos, you will know that Oxy is scheduled to report on November the 9th at 11 a.m. The EPS estimate consensus is negative 71 or 72 cents, and the range, how they arrived at that was the analyst's range is between negative 90 and negative 39 cents compared to last year's Q3 total, which was 11 cents positive. So we'll have to see what happens with Oxy on Monday. I'm looking forward to it. I expect them to have a reasonably good quarter, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know in the comments what stocks or what sectors you favor, and whether you think some of my stock picks that I mentioned in this video are interesting enough for you to do a little bit of research on and maybe invest in. If you like my videos, as always, please subscribe or consider subscribing. I would appreciate that. If you like my wife's incredible modern art that's hanging behind me, you can connect with me in the comments, and I'll tell you how to get connected with Debbie so that you can place an order for some awesome art that you can show off proudly to all your friends. And on that note, this is Mr. Oxy signing off, saying thanks for watching, stay safe, keep well, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, bye.